Angeles, Hi. Other action figures each sold separately. From
record the purr.
Jimmy, get the door. It must be Cousin Willie. Okay. Hi. What's up?
Ah, there we go. Something chill to watch. The following video is rated R and is intended for an adult audience. So if you're under 18, take a fucking hike, eh? As this video may contain adult themes and situations, strong language and opinions, good and bad advice, cannabis cultivation and consumption. So as long as you're a responsible adult, kick back, spark one up, and enjoy the show.
And queen works only.
Hi everybody, Cannabeard Grows here. How the heck are you doing tonight? Welcome, come on in. Let's get stoned, shall we? Ah man, this is what's growing on. Friday night gardening, all that jazz. Yeah, well, to rip the band-aid off quickly and just tell you what the episode's about, I hooked everything back up. Those other two that were sitting there, I thought, why am I bothering? Why am I hand watering twice a day when all I got to do is Mickey Mouse it a little bit and it'll be hooked right back up? And I thought, what the heck? So we'll show you that in just a moment. But first, before I get deeper into the episode, I want to bring them up because you know them, you love them. This episode is sponsored, once again, by MARSHYDRO. You can use my name right over here, Cannabeard. Save yourself a couple of bucks, get a little discount code with the Cannabeard name. It also helps the channel grow. It's the one way that we can monetize this channel in any shape or form because YouTube is a jerk. So thank you big time to MARSHYDRO for giving me pretty much the best lights in the business and hooking me up with all the tents and the ventilation that any grower could ever need. And use my code right here and you can get the same. Thank you very much, MARSHYDRO. You know I love you. So I've been keeping the ppms here. Maybe I should back it up a little bit here for anybody that's new to the episode. Maybe I should try to take a moment to explain what's happening here if anybody's new, because the potentials are high that there's new people watching once in a while. So here's what's happening. I'm using this system called an AIRCUBE system. We've got over here a reservoir. There's a 25-gallon reservoir tank that feeds into this on certain times. There's a timer that will pump water into there, and that is set with a bunch of float valves to level off with whatever I want these to level off at. So this being the bottom of the pot, this water here fills up and everything else fills up with it until it's all level right about here. Almost at the top of the pot. Not quite, about 75% of the way up the pot. So this fills up with water for about 15 minutes and then it drains and it pumps all that water back into here like this. So it's a flood and drain, a recirculating system, an ebb and a flow system. Hydroponic, if you want to call it such a thing. I guess it kind of is. It is, we're using COCO and perlite mixture. That's it. No other soil additives or anything. And I'm running the entire pH perfect advanced nutrients line 3-part system with not all of the extra additives, but a bunch of them. And yeah, who was first? Oh, I don't know. Let me see here. Polar Caps. It was Polar Caps, Training with Jaywin, Ricky Williams, and then John Groves. And then Gromies Talk and Christina84. How y'all doing? So, I want a sip of this, man. I'm drinking on some mocha. It's very much a little bit of coffee, a lot of hot chocolate. It's like -5 outside. It's pretty chilly. It's not bad, but we got the, we turned up the heat in the house a little bit and drinking a mocha because it's kind of chilly out. Warms the soul a little bit. Okay, So, now that I got all the introduction stuff about what I'm doing here, what's growing on, I think we know what time it is. It's dab time, motherfucking dab time, time to take a fucking dab break. Now under the right lighting, this looks nice and light. Yeah, there we go. That's not bad. It's got some darkness to it, but it's just a dark amber. It actually looks pretty good in there. This is the alien versus triangle that I grew in the last run here. It actually tastes fucking really delicious. I'm really happy with this flavor. Oh yeah. It's got this really weird spice of an aftertaste. When you blow it out, there's this weird spice that overwhelms your senses. I don't know what else to call it, but it's earthy and yummy, and I like it. Maybe even a little spacey due to the alien. But yes, it's good stuff. Anyway, so this behind me here, I'll bring you in for some close-ups of the progress since last week, but is OREO MePhisto's, or Mephisto's Oreo genetic. I struggled with this. The first time I tried to grow it, it didn't work at all. The second time I tried to grow it, it almost didn't work. And then I kind of figured out where maybe the user error was. A little bit of potential genetic instability made it harder on me. However, I think now looking back at the old videos and thinking about what happened and everything that was said and done, I think it really boils down to this. COCO is inert. It is not like soil. Soil has a little bit of nutrients in it. Just a bit, not tons, but it should have some basic level elemental nutrients and stuff to get the plant going. This has nothing. You might as well be growing it in styrofoam chips. There is no nutrient value in cocoa core when mixed with perlite like this. There's just nothing there. So even in a seedling stage, you need to provide those trace elements and minute amounts of minerals in your watering system. Even if you're hand watering, give it a really weak mixture or something like that, but you got to put some in there because it just needs something to grow from. And if you're giving it nothing but water, then it's not going to grow because you need some basic levels of nutrients, which is, I think, what the big problem was and why I stunted them for so long, etc. Yada, 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 yada. Lesson learned. Also, autoflowers are notoriously a little bit picky, and I'm somewhat new to hydroponic and cocoa growing, and it was an honest mistake. I'm a soil grower. I just made the assumption, you know? It's okay. I shared this video right on Zeta. Hello and welcome. Yeah, I really wish I could have gotten a perfect run too. I got a pretty damn good run though here. Let me bring you in here for some close-ups here so you can see what I'm talking about. So first off, let's look at this weird little thing because it's bizarre and weird, and it smells amazing. It looks like absolute dog shit. It's total crap, this one. I know it doesn't look very good at all, but I'm telling you, man, it smells really nice. If I rub up on those little leaves and give it a little scratch and sniff, woo, doggy, that is good. Good stuff. And then here in the back is another one. This one's looking a lot more normal. It's got big clustered nug. It's got nugs and then, like, you know, some spacing, big spacing, nug, big spacing, nug cluster. It's going to be super fucking easy to trim this shit. These two right here, as I was saying, I hooked them back up on the system. You can see there's a loop on this side that goes from one to the other. So it comes out of here. Oh, excuse me, I got a little burp from my coffee thing there. So it comes out of here, goes into this one, continues on down to that back one. Back one goes into the front one, and then the front one goes back like this into the thing. It looks a little bit Mickey Mouse and stuff, but that's because I had it set up for a single one, and I just kind of decided that why was I watering these by hand? I know I wanted to put this in the center, and it was the whole main goal, and this was more important. Training this one was more important than the two that did not look like they were going to survive. And even if I had trained them, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere close to this kind of growth. This one was exploding with growth while these ones looked like they were dying. So I shoved them aside. I didn't want to kill them. And they are doing sort of okay. This one's got some nice looking buds on it, somewhat. I mean, anyway, so I hooked it back up to the connection earlier this week, so it's been running like this for a couple of days now. Everything looks relatively fine. Somebody said that in the comment section there that the extreme leaf curling on a couple of these were probably due to a nitrogen toxicity. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I haven't changed my water in a little while. So I took about 70% of my water out and then rebalanced it and put less grow in, more bloom. And I think it's looking happy. Looking happy. Running around, again, about 500 ppm. Bouncing between about 450 and 500 ppm. And that seems to be a pretty happy spot. I'm not cooking the plants. There's no sign of burn. There's no sign of like deficiencies other than, you know, there is definitely that little bit of a curled leaf and stuff, and that could definitely be from too much nitrogen at this point in their game. And not too bad, not too bad. But I tell you, the actual plant itself is looking pretty nice and is smelling really nice. I'm, due to the way I trained this thing, I'm going to get quite a bit off of it, considering how bad its life was. Here's one of them. This one has not been... This is the one that wasn't going to make it, folks. Remember? I put it aside, and I just didn't kill it. I just left it there, and look what happened. It's trying to get the sun. It's trying to get that beautiful MARSHYDRO super fixture I got up there. Oh, and I got confirmation. They're coming, but I got the Adolite system. And then I'm going to be adding to this. So it'll add more of a deep red. It'll add there's a blue one. There's an ultraviolet one. And then there's something else. I forget. There's like 3 or 4 of those Adolite things. I think there's 3. There's a brand new one that they just launched too. So I'll be adding those things to this setup here eventually. This is probably going to be my permanent light for a pretty long time. I don't see myself needing anything more than what a 5x5 space can provide anywhere near in the future. Plus, these are those Samsung diodes. These are the good ones. And since they're going away, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with keeping this set up and just, you know, adding those extra spectrums to it and making it that much better. Yeah, I think it's awesome. But all in all, it is looking darn good in here. I've definitely trained this auto nicely. I wish I'd kind of trained this one a little bit more. I would have gotten a bit better than just these couple of nugs that I did get, although they are looking very frosty already. And we still probably got, I'm going to say at least 2 more weeks probably, right? Like, it all depends on whether this autoflower is going to be true to its name and pull its, I'm going to air quote and say 90-day cycle to the tits, or if we actually get a little bit more leeway because it was in a stasis period in the beginning there and it wasn't growing properly. Does that come off of the total? Usually I would say yes. Yes, it would come off the total, and which means you're probably going to be ripe before you got the densest, biggest buds, which might be the case with this. I'm going to have a lot of these little popcorn round ball buds that are going to be good, but they're going to be, you know, not huge. And that's a result of probably fucking up the first 2 weeks of their life, and that it's going to just come off the top at the end. They're still only in the last 90 days. We might get lucky. As of next week, I'm going to pull out the digital microscope and start looking at it every couple of days to to keep my eyes peeled on it to see how it's doing. Like that. I think one more dab is in order, because why not? Because I'm wearing the dabbed out shirt. You can buy this on my merch store. Links are below. Yeah, I'm impressed. All in all, I've fucked up autoflowers before, and every once in a while when you fuck up an autoflower, it comes back with a vengeance. You think it's dead, you think it's down for the count, and it ends up being one of your biggest producers in the run. I had plants that were about a foot tall, and I dropped something on the plant, and it knocked it down to it had one leaf on the stalk, and I was going to pull it, and the fans and viewers were like, no, leave it, let's see what happens, and it grew 2 tops out of that, and it sped up to catch up the other one. And due to the 2 tops, it grew twice the size of all the other plants in the grow, because it was growing 2 tops. Each top was equal to one of the other plants, and it literally grew twice as much as everything else I grew that run. And it should have been dead. I lost 3 weeks of growth. It was like 3 weeks old, and I chopped it down to 1 leaf, and it grew back and proved us wrong. Oh, wow. Oh, that Alien V Triangle has such a weird, but nice taste to it. I cannot describe it. It's somewhere between something really peppery and like Gorilla Glue, maybe. There's just this weird sort of aftertaste that you get from it. And it's not a bad aftertaste, but it's definitely prominent, man. Weird stuff. Autos are a waste of time. Love the show. I disagree. I think photos are almost a waste of time. You can get an autoflower done in 90 days from seed. That's 3 months. You're looking at a minimum of 5 to 6 months when you're looking at a proper photo grow. You need at least 2 months of veg properly before you can get a good result out of your photo period. I mean, maybe maybe people got something to say about that and you can do it a little bit better, but I'd say that's a pretty good average to just throw out on the ballpark here for discussion purposes. I can understand why people don't like autoflowers, mostly the price. I think they're ridiculously expensive considering you can't clone them and you can't propagate them very well and get your own seeds or anything like that. You can't do that kind of a thing, whereas with a photo period, you can clone it, you can turn it into a mother, you can breed it quite easily and pheno-hunt quite easily, and you can't do any of that with autoflowers. But autoflowers are small. Autoflowers are fast. They're furious. They have exotic flavors and cross combinations. Most photo periods were originally trying to stick with a sort of a sativa or an indica dominant from my understanding of it, and almost every single autoflower that exists is a hybrid, is somewhere in the nature of the 50-50. There's very few strain specific autoflowers. There's very few sativa autoflowers. There's probably a few more indica autoflowers, but that's just because indica is a little easier to grow and faster, etc., etc. But I don't know, man. I just think they both have their places. I don't have the room. As you can see, my basement is very small. I'm not a giant. My basement is like illegally small. And so I have a very limited grow space. And some people grow in closets and like ninjas and little tiny boxes and stuff, little grow cubes and things, small tents, etc. Autoflowers are excellent for these people. If you want to be stealth, autoflowers are, that's what you're after. It's fast. It's small size. Relatively, you get a pretty good return if you do it right. But they're finicky. They're expensive. Again, I understand. There's pros and cons. I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong and that they're the best, because they're not. They just have their place, I think. I actually want to grow some photos soon. When the threat of the move is over, autoflowers are also like pretty short grow periods. It's fairly easy for me to be able to pack it up and move it kind of quickly and reset a grow if I had to start over or something like that really quickly with some autoflowers. Whereas photo periods, that'd be like a waste of months of work and stuff, and it would just drive me bonkers. Whereas I might be able to move things correctly and not kill them all off, maybe. Or if it's too much of a hassle, we can just kill them and start again, because it's not going to be a big deal. But we have to move in the next unknown amount of months, and that's sort of another thing that I enjoy growing autoflowers for right now, is their smaller window. But I do want to get into some more photo periods on the channel here soon, once we move and we're settled, whatever the heck, if I've got the room, provided I have the room to do so, because I don't know where we're moving yet, and I don't know if we're renting or buying or what the fuck's happening, but whatever happens, happens. Wish us some luck, because we're going to friggin' need it. Anyway, I got to get upstairs and start cooking dinner. It is dinner time for me. Hope you all have a wonderful Friday night. Thank you all for spending your time here with me for a little bit. If you like the show, hit that thumbs up down there. Tell YouTube that it's a good thing. Share the video if you want to really help it grow, so to speak. Join the Discord. Links are below. You can get the merch down. Links are below. Check the links. Always the links. That kind of stuff. Let me think here. Am I missing anything? Sunday session, 12 o'clock noon Pacific Standard Time on Sunday. We'll be here for the on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time for Sunday session. I think there was one more thing I wanted to bring up, but I can't think of what it is right now. Let me look around the room here. No. Nope. Nope. Nothing I can think of right now. So I must have said it already. Anyway, have a good Friday night, everybody. I'll catch you soon. I'll be back on Twitch later tonight. I think we're going to start some Twitch integrated Valheim run, meaning you guys can spawn enemies on me and have me killed and stuff, or make me powerful and help me out with boss fights and stuff like that. Fun times. Anyway, have a good one until the next time I see you. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night. Did I say have a good night twice? I think I did.